What's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to break down how I created this awesome looking book, how I sell it to a worldwide audience, and how you can do the exact same thing in literally just a few minutes. Everyone knows about Amazon. You know about Amazon FBA, you know about maybe the merch side of things where you can get t-shirts printed, but most people don't know Amazon does this too. This is called their KDP program, and it's Kindle Direct Publishing. This is all my design. Everything in here is all my stuff that I designed and had them printed. But the thing is, I didn't have to order these in bulk. I didn't have to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on 200 of these and just like cross my fingers that maybe like my mom will buy one in a year. There is literally no risk with this income stream, so I highly recommend everyone try this out. Even if you're not creative, even if you don't know design software, I will show you how stupidly easy this actually is. Now, before we go any further in this video, I was actually introduced to this side hustle by this company called BookBolt. They reached out to me about a month ago and they just told me about this. They told me about their software. And to be completely transparent, I had never heard about this. Now, I've done merch on Amazon. I've done Amazon FBA. I know you could publish ebooks and stuff like that, but I didn't know Amazon would actually print physical copies of stuff. I think it's just really cool to have something that's paper, that's in your hands, that can, help someone's life, change it in any sort of way. Now, listen, this is not like some crazy manifesto or the Bible. This is just a weekly planner that I created. So I do want to give a massive thank you to BookBolt for sponsoring this video. We will be using their software for this, and I'll show you how easy they actually make it from research, design, and actually getting your book published. And if you guys do want to try their software out, in the description below, there will be my referral code. So I do appreciate you guys using it, and you will get a nice little discount if you do use it. The first thing we got to do is decide what we actually want to make. Now, as you can see, the front cover of it is very aggressive. I didn't want to make like some cutesy one for a cute little girl with butterflies all over it. I wanted to make something cool looking, so I did it. And then when you open this up, it's a weekly planner, and then from there, it goes into daily planners. So you get a few days of that. And then I added a little drawing area because I like to doodle in my planners, and I know many people do. And then I added a little notepad section, and it cycles through that for 3 months worth of stuff. Now, this whole KDP program is really intended for simple things like this, for planners, journals, sketch pads, coloring books, those types of things. So you need to decide what you want to make. Everyone has little different ideas. If there's something that you want for yourself, I suggest starting there like I did. I wanted a cool planner for myself that only had the things in it that I wanted. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to do some research using BookBolt's tools. So let's hop into that. Over here on the left-hand side, we have this column full of things. Now up here, it says research is a drop down, and then it says create. For right now, we're going to stick in research. We're going to go to create in just a minute. First, we need to kind of analyze our competition, see what other people are doing, and kind of get a direction as to what we're actually going to create. So under here, it's going to say search by bestseller, top 100 to top 500. Now we're going to keep it in the top 100 because I'm really curious to see what the best selling books are actually doing. Under here, category, notebooks, whatever, all these basic categories you can think of. For the purpose of this video, we're actually going to do a planner just to kind of go along with the theme here. So under here, it says BSR range. What that means is bestseller ranking on Amazon. Now, every single category and subcategory has a specific BSR for those items. The lower the number, the more sales you're getting. The higher the number, the less frequency of sales that you're getting. So if you have a BSR of 1, you're probably a gajillionaire because you're making a ton of money on whatever product you're selling. For here, we're just going to keep it to the default range. It's totally fine. And then under here, under the price range, I don't necessarily want to see $100 items. So I'm going to narrow this down to about $15 because I think that's the furthest we can push this. All right, and then over here, you can type in a keyword, but we're not going to do that. So we're just going to click search for now. Okay, so we have our results, but before we actually start looking into these, what we're going to do is drop down on these toggles as well. So now this is showing us all the data for the results. We can see the highest price is $14.99 because obviously we set our limit to $15. The lowest price is $3.99, but the average price is $8.54. So that gives us a good kind of starting point to how we're actually going to price our item when we figure out what we're actually going to make. Okay, and then now over here, the keyword count. We can see, obviously, since we looked up a planner, you're going to see things like planner, organizer, monthly tracker, budgeting, all those kind of common keywords that people use for like planners or worksheets or whatever you're using for planning or organizing, right? All right, those keywords are great. This is really good information to start out with, but let's see what planners are actually selling and what they look like and who they're actually marketed towards, because this is the most important part. So we're gonna scroll through here. The first thing we're gonna see, and I saw this earlier, it's a when I'm gone planner. So this is like a planner that you write stuff in if you're planning on passing away. Maybe for older folks that are getting ready, maybe you just want to prepare 40 years in advance for some reason. This person is selling this for $11.95. They have a BSR of 8,900, which is really great. They have an estimated monthly sales of 410. It may not be 100% accurate, but typically these estimates are close enough to where it gives you a really good idea of the volume of this item actually selling. With that BSR being so low and the estimated monthly sales being that much, you can expect to make quite a bit of money off of this item. Let's just do some math real quick. $11.95 times 410. That is $4,800 a month of just this book that they are theoretically selling. Now they may be selling less, they may be selling more, we don't know. But if they're selling even $100 worth of this book every single month passively, I would be very happy with that. I don't know about you guys, but I would love an extra $100 a month for doing literally nothing. All right, so the next one is gonna be a monthly bill organizer. Their price is only $554. They have 390 ratings, which that's a pretty good number. Their estimated sales are 389, and then their BSR is 10,000, which again is a good one. Another dead planner. Oh yeah, so we're seeing a common theme already. For some reason, people are buying planners to plan out their deaths. So this is already giving us some sort of guidance. Maybe you start making a planner for funeral arrangements, for like passwords and like information that people may need to pass on to their families. Again, like this one has 382 estimated monthly sales at $12.99. I think I know what I'm gonna be making next after this video. So you guys gotta get the idea. What you would do is just scroll through here. We're not gonna take the next 20 minutes to do this because it's gonna be quite repetitive. You're gonna see the same kinds of planners with different keywords, different niches that they're targeting, and then different designs. If you have a really cool design, people will buy it just based off of the cover. So if this is a skill that you have, this is a really great way to really explore that. All right, but we got some research done. The next thing we're gonna do is actually start designing this. As I mentioned earlier, there's this button up here where it says research and create. Now we're gonna click on create. Today, what we're going to talk about is really just the designer part. There's other features like the puzzle maker, which is super cool. All right, so the first page you're going to be met with is going to be this kind of template page to where you kind of get to choose a few options. You have paperback and you have hardcover. On here, it's going to say cover or interior. Right now, what we're going to do is just create a cover page. So we're going to start there. And then trim size. This is a 6x9 book, but like I mentioned earlier, there's a bunch of different sizes. And then paper color. This is important because if you're gonna be printing in color, these cost quite a bit more. Like the cost difference is significant if you're gonna go from black and white to color. So that is something I do suggest you kind of take note about. So if you are worried about your profits, stick to black and white because that will be the cheapest way that you can actually get these printed. We're gonna just do black and white paper, and then page count. Now this, again, it depends on what you're doing. I think for this, we ended up having like 130-ish pages, something like that. So for now, for the purpose of this video, let's just do 24. We're not gonna overly complicate this. Now, the reason we're doing it like this is because Amazon requires a specific file type and a file layout that BookBolt is gonna spit out all of the files that you need, which is why it's kind of awesome. It really makes this so streamlined. Really, anyone can figure this out. All right, so now we have our template loaded. There's a left-hand side and there's a right-hand side, and it's separated by this. This little line right down the center, right? Imagine it being the spine of the book. Now, the right side is gonna be the front cover, and this left side is gonna be the back cover. So let's go in here. Let's start with black background, add some text. Let's see, they got a bunch of pre-done text. See what this looks like. Don't actually like that. We're gonna do this one. I like this one a little bit better. We're gonna create like a little planner for hustlers, say hustle. So I actually don't like that font after all, so oh, that's perfect. That's nice and bold. That is exactly what I wanted. Let's put that right there, front and center. Let's change the color of it. What are we feeling? Let's do yellow. Now we're gonna add another thing of text. This time, let's do Oswald. Let's do this here, change this color again. Let's make this one white monthly planner. So we're gonna make this guy a little bit smaller, boom. All right, so what we're gonna do is actually go in here into this resources section and just type in whatever you're looking for. So in this case, we're looking for some money because hustle and money kind of goes together. So let's just add this in. We're actually just gonna put this on the back page because I like the simplicity of this front cover. I like how bold and just boom in your face it is. And then the back cover will just be a bunch of dollar bills. And that's it. Guys, this literally would have taken me 1 minute if I wasn't making a video and trying to explain things to you. This is this simple. Now, if you wanted to go crazy, you can spend hours designing the perfect front cover, but I don't really think it's necessary. Just do something that works for what you're actually making and for the niche that you're trying to attract. And the best part is if it doesn't work, you can just make another one and another one. You can literally just have 50 versions of the same exact book with just different covers. It's really that simple. So if you don't like the first one, make another one tomorrow. All right, so our front cover is done. All we're gonna do is go up here in the top left-hand corner. We're just gonna download it. What we're gonna do now is move on from the front cover and actually start working on the guts of this book, because that's why people are buying it, right? They wanna actually use the book. So you're gonna go up here and there's two options. There's Interior and Interior Pro. Now we're gonna start with Interior and then we're gonna move on to Pro because that's what I used and I think it's super, super cool. But let's go into Interior. Okay, now we have the interior generator. And then we're gonna scroll through here and you guys are gonna have your mind blown because it's literally any sort of planner or tracker or calendar or anything you could possibly ever imagine. Like there's so many things you can do. If you just wanted to do like a basic recipe book, you have a template there. If you want to do a body progress tracker, right there. Look how fancy that looks. Like it looks like you've been doing it for years. Maybe you're a scuba diver. They even have a scuba diver journal. Like, I mean, guys, you literally don't have to do anything yourself. You can just come up with a cool cover photo of a scuba diver and call it the Scuba Diver's Journal Guide to Success or something. Print 30 copies of that page and there you go. Now a scuba diver has maybe a yearly tracker of all their fun dives. It took you literally no time, cost you no money, and hopefully you made some money off of it. Since we are doing a planner, let's see what they have as far as like planning type pages go. We have monthly to-do lists. We have office organizer, planner. I want something more daily that you can use as just like a kind of to-do list type thing. Day planner, perfect. We're gonna do this one, and this one's black and white, so it'll be cheaper, but you also have the color option right next to it. So once we've selected the interior page that we actually want, we're gonna go up here. One thing you need to make sure is change the paper size. So ours is gonna be 6x9. Make sure that is accurate because that will affect you. Now we're gonna get this file, and it's just 24 pages of this planner. Guys, that was literally this easy. We now have the front cover, and now we have the interior pages of our planner. But I want to make this a little bit more special. I don't want to just have 50 pages of this same page. I want to mix it up a little bit, and we can do that too. Let's go back a little bit and let me show you the Interior Designer Pro, because that's where you really get to have some fun and create things like this that have multiple different styles of pages. So back in the design software, we're going to click on Interior Pro. This part we can spend quite a bit of time on, but we're going to really just fast track it. You can go up here and you can click Upload, where you upload your own files. If you went into a third-party software like Photoshop or Canva and you're more comfortable there designing things, you could just design your pages however you want in whatever software you want to use, and then just upload them to here and use those as your interior pages. So you don't have to use BookBolt's pre-done templates. I didn't use their templates. Everything you see in my book besides the ruled line page, this is all custom. Like I made all of this stuff in Canva. So if you did want to take all that effort and do that yourself, if you have a few design skills, you can do that. But for this, let's click on here. We're gonna click first page. Now what you can do is literally just go through that same list that we were going through in the Interior Designer of all the pre-built templates and just select what you want as the first page. A monthly to-do list. So we're gonna add one of those pages. Then the next page we wanna do is something like a savings tracker. Maybe you wanna just budget better. Now you have a savings tracker page. Birthday reminder. Maybe you have a lot of friends and they have a lot of birthdays. Great, you can put that in there. Let's do a mood tracker. Mental health is important. Tracking your mood as an entrepreneur or a hustler is really important. So let's keep on top of that. But for the purpose of this, we're just gonna go in here, we're gonna do the last page, and let's just say it's another like little journal page. And then down here, again, no bleed versus bleed, that's your preference. With margins, without margins, again, that is your preference. Here, let's do 6x9 again because that's what we've been selecting. Now all we're gonna do is click download, and now we have this file. We have our first 7 pages of lined paper, and then we're gonna start getting into our monthly to-do list, our savings tracker, our birthday reminder. We now have the front cover, we have the back cover, and we have the interior pages for our book. Guys, if you weren't making a YouTube video about this, you would literally have this done in under 10 minutes if you have any sort of computer skills whatsoever. So this is a really, really easy way to take one simple, stupid product and just scale it to something bigger. Like I said, I'm gonna make different versions of this. So maybe instead of doing yellow here, maybe I'll do pink. Maybe I'll do a less aggressive font and maybe make it more cute and market it towards women rather than aggressive men covered in tattoos. These little minor tweaks can really make or break your book, make it skyrocket or make it not sell whatsoever. So be running tests. If this is something that you're gonna take seriously, make a bunch of different versions of these and see what sells and see what doesn't sell. But listen, we have our files. Now what we're gonna do is actually hop out of BookBolt. We're gonna go into Amazon's platform and I'm gonna show you how to upload all this really quickly. Creating an Amazon KDP account is super simple. There's nothing technical about it. Anyone can do it. But what we're gonna do is go up here, we're gonna press create. So you're gonna go in here and it's gonna have several different options. Now you're gonna have a basic Kindle ebook to where you're only selling digital files. Now this may actually be a great option for a lot of people. For a planner, maybe not so much, but if you're doing something that has, I don't know, some sort of instructions or like a literal book that has a ton of words people are gonna read, the Kindle ebook is another little extra passive income side hustle that you can do. We're gonna do paperback because that's what we selected. So when it gets to the book title, something important to note is that whatever is on the front cover, like Get Shit Done Weekly Planner, that needs to be in the title. So we're gonna start with that. All right, so this is the book title I came up with real quick. Get Shit Done Weekly Planner, Monthly, Daily, To-Do List, Notepad. Your title does matter. So spend a few minutes on this, do some more research. Just as the cover is important, so is the title because that's how you catch the viewer's attention in the first 2 seconds. Subtitle is optional, you don't need to put that. Series, again, if you're doing like a series book, so like version 1, version 2, version 3, this is where you want to do the series, but we're not going to do that. Now, description. So the description is going to be this little first area that you see right here. So when you click on the item, that's what you're gonna see. So for the purpose of this video, I'm just gonna add my description that I already had. Now you can go in here and underline things, make them bold, all these things. They do matter. Make it look good, make it look pretty. Get all the important information out there that your customer could actually want. Okay, now publishing rights, you wanna hold the copyright. Now we're gonna get into keywords. This is again another really important category that many people overlook and many people don't understand how to actually select keywords, but BookBolt software has a keyword research tool. So let's go back in there. Under the research tab, what we're gonna do is scroll down and you're gonna click on keywords. It's gonna take you to this page. So let's type in business planner for men. Okay, now we have all of these keywords and the data along with it. So you're gonna see the competition. Some of it may not have any data for whatever reason, then some of it is gonna have data and it's high, medium, low. That's how much competition you have in that keyword. The higher the competition, the more you're gonna pay for advertising to advertise that book, the more competitors you're gonna have in that niche. So just be wary of that. So let's see, business planner for men. That's really the keyword that I wanna go after. Very high competition. The cost per click is $1.51. So every time someone would click on your ad, you'd be paying roughly $1.50 to have someone get on there, which is, it's quite expensive. It's not cheap. But you can see the Amazon search volume is 2,267. Now that's 2,000 searches a month for this kind of keyword, which is pretty impressive. It's not the worst thing in the world. You see the Google search volume is 368,000, which is a lot. Like that is pretty crazy. Obviously, when it comes to data like this, take it with a grain of salt, use it as like a direction, but don't base your entire life off of these sorts of numbers. Don't get overly excited or overly ambitious just because you see a high keyword rank or anything like that. Just be careful. That's all I'm saying. But pretty much here, we can see all of these keywords and then there's more frequent keywords over here. You can tell they're all kind of the same thing, just worded a little bit differently. But like say like this one, business planner for men with tabs. That's something that people are searching for. There's so many little different keywords that people may not think about, so using a tool like this is going to be really helpful. So now what we can do is just type in our keywords that we want to use. Business planner, men's business planner. You get the idea. Come up with 7 keywords that make sense for your book. Make it pertinent to your niche, but make sure that they're keywords that people are actually searching for and there's actually a search volume behind them. Because if people aren't searching for what you're making, you'll never sell it. Okay, so now there's this category section. We need to decide what category our book is actually gonna be listed under. BookBolt does have a tool for this. It's the KDP category finder. To be completely transparent with you guys, I haven't really found this part to be incredibly useful for doing something like a planner. If you have something like a nonfiction or a fiction book to where there's a very specific category, this may help you out, but say for this business planner for men. We're gonna type that in. None of these really help me out whatsoever, to be quite honest with you. None of these categories are really accurate for this purpose for whatever reason. So we're just gonna go back in here and select non-classifiable, make it simple, and be on our way. Okay, we're gonna click save and continue. Okay, now we're gonna have the next page, print ISBN. Amazon's gonna generate a completely free ISBN number. That's the barcode here that all books have. Assign me a free KDP ISBN. If you have your own for whatever reason, you can use it there and they will print it on your book. Print options. This again is something really important. Like we talked about in the beginning of this video, something with just a little bit of color like this is gonna be significantly more expensive to print for you on the back end, which means you'll have to charge a higher price, which will make it more difficult to sell. So be very wary of that. Black and white with cream pages, black and white with white paper. You can kind of just go through here and see what you like. Our sizes, again, we're gonna stick to 6x9 because that's what we wanted. Our bleed, again, this is something that you should have decided earlier, select that option. And then the paper cover, either matte or glossy. Again, that's totally personal preference. So this is where we're gonna start using BookBolt's downloaded files. So under Manuscript, we're gonna upload paperback Manuscript. So this is gonna be that one file that we had with all of our interior pages here. So we're gonna select this and we're gonna upload that. All right, and then here is gonna be the book cover. This is gonna be, again, the file that BookBolt pushed out for us in the beginning. Okay, so everything is uploaded. Now we're gonna preview our book real quick. Let's make sure that everything looks right, make sure all the bleeds are good, nothing's cut off. These things are really important because if it doesn't look good on here, it's not gonna print out well whatsoever, especially if you designed it yourself in a third-party software and you weren't paying attention to the bleed lines and the actual like outside of the pages. You may really have an ugly looking book. So I had to actually go back and tweak some of my pages because like the bleeds were too far off here and it was getting cut off. So be wary of that. If you are designing your stuff in a third-party software, make sure everything is just kind of like living in the center and there is some nice white edges around the border. Okay, so now we're gonna see quality check. Print previewer didn't find any issues. You can see the cut lines and everything here. So the red line is where all the text and graphics must be inside. That's like your safe area. This white trim part is gonna be where like they're actually gonna kind of cut it. So that's why all the safe stuff needs to be inside the red lines, just in case like they kind of clip it a little bit too much. Now we can scroll through here. We're gonna start clicking through. We can see our planner, all our awesome pages that we added. Everyone is good and happy. And then we can just click approve. All right, so now once we have our book previewed, we're gonna talk about some money because this is probably the most important part to you guys. If you wanna start a side hustle, we need to make some money and we need to know how much we're actually gonna make. So on here, we have our details. And now our printing cost is $2.50 per book. So if you made one of these that was black and white and had 24 pages in 6x9, it would cost you $2.15 each time someone was purchasing this. If you're gonna be selling the product for, $8, that's quite a nice little profit margin you got there. You can also see something really cool that many people won't think about, all the other Amazon marketplaces. Amazon is not just America, they are worldwide and they have a huge worldwide audience. So now you're selling your stupid little planner to people in Japan, which is pretty crazy. It's mind-blowing and it's crazy that it was this simple. And then it didn't cost us anything to do this. It cost us 20 minutes of our time and that's about it. All right, let's go save and continue and we're gonna select our prices. We're gonna see what our profits actually are gonna be at the end of the day. So you can see on here, the minimum price you can charge is $3.58 and up to $250. I don't know where you're gonna be printing for one of these for $250, but good for you if you can get that. So if we just did $8.99 here, it cost us $2.15 to print. The royalty rate is 60%, which means we will make $3.24 every time our silly little book sold for $8.99. If you're selling 400 of these and you're making $3 per sale passively, that's pretty crazy. Like you're making over $1,200 a month doing literally nothing. Mind blowing. Now all we would do is click publish your paperback book and we are in the queue. They're gonna approve it, hopefully, if there's no issues. From there, you can start promoting it on social media. You can run ads, you can do whatever you want to sell it. Now in the next couple of videos over like the next month or so, I will be updating you guys on my progress, how many books I've made, if I've sold any, my sales tactics to actually generate leads for these books. If you did wanna try BookBolt, make sure to check out the description below for a limited offer that they have just for people that use my code. Check them out, check out KDP. I really hope this kind of opened your eyes. I hope you guys make some money off of it. And until next time, cheers.